I'm not the only one who's bored with New South Wales' Labour position on Israel.
It is absolutely unbelievable that out of 45 motions that are put forward on a state level in Australia, over 60% of those motions are critical of Israel, are about the Israel-Palestinian conflict. It's absurd. It is. You got less than that on the indigenous issues in this country, where there's a 10-year gap of life expectancy, where you've got climate change issues.
It's obvious to me and the rabbi there that the Labour Party in New South Wales are missing the point. It's not the Israeli government they should be concerned themselves with, it's the Palestinian leadership. They have the responsibility for their people. And actually, let me tell you, Palestinian lives actually matter, because 60% of them are living under poverty on $2 a day. That's horrific. The Palestinian authorities have had up to $3 billion to 2012, and where's that gone? Oh, Abbas is worth $100 million. Tunnels costing $3 million a pop when schools and hospitals aren't being provided for the community that needs them. Oh yeah, Hamas wants to drain every drop of Jewish blood, and they want their children dragged into it, exploiting them, just as ISIS has exploited children. And when it comes to defining us as occupiers, just remember, Jews were from the lands of Judea, Arabs were from the lands of Arabia. Who's occupying whose land here? Perhaps a question for the New South Wales Labour Party is, are Israelis foreign invaders, or are the Palestinian leaders foreign invaders? Well, Eitzer Weizmann, a leader in Israel, was born in Tel Aviv, whereas Mahmoud al-Zahar was born in Cairo, Egypt. Yitzhak Navon was actually born in Jerusalem in Israel, and Ehud Barak was born in Israel too, whereas Faisal here was born in Baghdad, leader of the PLO. Yitzhak Rabin, well, he was born in Jerusalem, whereas this guy, the leader of the PLO, was born in South Lebanon. This guy, Omer, born in Israel. Yasser Arafat, born in Cairo. Ariel Sharon, born in Israel. Need I go on? These prime ministers, well, are they really occupiers, settlers, or invaders? Ask yourself, who are the real invaders?
I proudly announce tonight the opening of my user-friendly website, www.gornish.com.
Websites today are no joke, particularly Jewish websites. Where were we before Due Date or other website favourites were on the market? How did people meet each other?
Tan blazer, blue glasses, chaya, laser. Sorry I'm late.
I don't have a lot of time. I have to be back at the hospital in an hour.
Yes, my mother told me that your mother told her that you're a neurosurgeon. Very impressive.
Your mother didn't mention what you do.
Freelance?
Okay, so, as our mothers may have discussed, I'm interested in leading a traditional Jewish life. I'm seeking candidates. I know exactly what I want. I have all the questions to ask right off the bat. So blind dates is just a more efficient way of, seeing if this is even possible. So.
Today, 1 billion of us connected on Facebook. But what is a billion? Really, what is it? Look closely, and you'll see more than a number. It's moms and little brothers and cousins.
And an awful lot of Jews as well, all of whom across the world talk to each other every minute of every day. However, I want to talk about a group here in Melbourne, started by Lior Shabbat. JSeek is flourishing. There are some 8,500 people come together simply to ask, does anybody know? This type of referral is quite special in that it's only within a small group of people, many of whom are very similar to each other. And I want to share some of those experiences with you right now. This one simply says, I'm going to Phuket. I've got 2 kids. Does anyone have any recommendations of anywhere to stay? It's because we're so similar to each other that this is a perfect place to ask the question. Because if it's good enough for him or her, it's good enough for me. This post is from a daughter looking for friends for her 81-year-old father. What a great use of social media this is. And I'm quite sure JSeek's the perfect place to find someone for her father. Finally, this one is classic, where somebody's looking for Nerf gun bullets to send overseas. They want a cheap deal, and they want it now. Well, where are you going to go? How do you call on your 8,500 mates, all of whom probably at some point or another have had to pick up these Nerf bullets from somewhere? They'll know where they are. And that's the point with JSeek. However stupid and however important, there are 8,500 people that are probably very, very similar, all of whom have got the answer or at least know someone who does. The Jewish community is no different to many other communities, the Christians, the Islamic communities. Each of us like to volunteer our time and our services to each other. And that's what Volume, a Facebook group that has also been launched recently, is out to provide. A place where you can look for volunteers and where you can volunteer yourself.
We're looking at the top 5 Israeli inventions. Coming in at number 5, the very peculiar but life-saving invention designed exclusively and manufactured in Israel by Given Imaging, the pill cam. Once swallowed, this revolutionary little device allows doctors and specialists to see your entire digestion tract through digital images. Not only is this invention groundbreaking, it has saved the lives of thousands of people as it literally gives medical teams a microscopic view of your precious intestines. Coming in at number 4, the infamous Hollywood-style martial art, Krav Maga. Krav Maga, which means contact combat, is a self-defense system which was developed solely for the Israeli Defense Force and consists of a wide variety of other techniques including Aikido, Judo, boxing, wrestling, and other styles. The style is derived from Hungarian martial artist Imi Lichtenfeld, who devised the art as a means of defending Jewish neighborhoods against fascist groups in Bratislava. Today, the martial art is actually popularized and implemented in many Hollywood action films. It's so easy, even my grandma can do it. Number 3, the Epilator hair removal system. Designed in Israel, the ingenious invention has taken the hassle out of shaving one's legs and armpits, saving a woman precious time while giving spectacular results. Since its inception in 1986, the Epilator has seen numerous improvements spanning from spring types, rotating discs, tweezer type, and wet usage. The device is so effective that I use it every day on my back. At number 2, the device used every day by almost 3 billion people around the world. The USB flash drive. Allowing you to store vast amounts of information quickly and cost efficiently, the USB flash drive has intrinsically become a part of our society. The device is so widely used and efficient that it has single-handedly killed off the DVD. It's hard to believe that you can fit an entire library catalog on one little plastic stick. Now where did I put my copy of War and Peace? Last but not least, coming in at number 1, the First Pc Microprocessor. Had Israel not invented the first microprocessor used in desktop computers, none of what we do today at home with our beloved PC would be possible. History actually tells that the CPU was almost scrapped after top Intel bosses were dubious about new MMX technology. Luckily for us, they were finally convinced of the technological advances it presented. Thanks to Israel, the invention of the Intel 8088 has paved the way for modern electronics, including PCs, video games, smartphones, medical devices, and now soon to be in cars.